is up? Good mic work, back at you with what I guess will be your Monday Night Raw review. Not a horrible show. The June 22nd, 2015 edition of Monday Night Raw is in the books. And it was definitely worth talking about. I think any show involving Brock Lesnar is at least worth mentioning. Brock was on the show tonight, actually opened up the show. And he was in the main event segment as well. So all in all, I was relatively satisfied with Monday Night Raw. Plus, I will be out of town next week, so I won't be up with any sort of a video for probably a good 2 weeks. But luckily, I think we're still 4 weeks away from Battleground, so there's plenty of time for speculation for me to get up a predictions video and all of that. As far as tonight goes, I'll briefly touch on Raw. We'll go through all the segments. I'll give my thoughts on them. A little preview of Battleground even, maybe some predictions, and just a few other news tidbits as well. Let's get right into Raw. Like I said, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman opened up the show. We got a little bit of an explanation now this week because Brock just returned last week and we were wondering what's the deal with the suspension. So Heyman basically says that the deal that they made with the Authority is that he has to come out and publicly apologize to everybody for what he did the night after WrestleMania when he beat the shit out of everybody in F5 Michael Cole. That was awesome. So Brock now has to apologize. It looks like they're turning him babyface, but I'm not sure how I felt about the apology. To me, I can look at it two ways. On one hand, I couldn't imagine the Brock Lesnar that we knew before doing something like that. The Brock Lesnar that we all know wouldn't give a fuck. But at the same time, he's pretty seething, pissed off, mad about what happened to him at WrestleMania, and he wants to fucking murder Seth Rollins. So, in order to get his hands on Seth Rollins, if he's got to shake JBL's hand, no big deal. I guess you got to pick your battles in that sort of situation. So maybe, logic-wise, you can say, okay, no big deal. If I got to apologize, I don't even have to mean it. I'll just say it, and that way I get my title match and I can get my revenge on Seth Rollins. So no big deal. And he didn't even go all the way with the apology. He shook JBL's hand, but then he gave Michael Cole a noogie, which I could not believe, and then just really forcefully slammed him down in his chair, really kind of shoved him around a little bit, which the fans, of course, loved. So to me, it really wasn't that big of a deal, and Brock Lesnar wouldn't be done. He would hang around. Now, Seth Rollins, his opponent at Battleground, has got his own sets of problems. We know that he's had all sorts of dissension with the Authority over the last few weeks, so they're running the angle tonight where he's going around trying to recruit everybody back onto the team because he knows he's going to get his ass kicked at Battleground and he needs some backup. So he's over there kissing J&J Security's ass, kissing Kane's ass, saying, I want you back, I want you part of the family. I swear, it's not because of Brock Lesnar. I mean, I can beat Brock Lesnar on my own. I don't need you guys, but I just thought it would be nice to have you come back into the Authority and we could all be together on the same page again. Seth Rollins is just hilarious. And then he's talking to Triple H and Stephanie about the same thing, and Triple H kind of gave me some hints here. Initially last week when this match was announced, I kind of said to myself, how can you have any other finish other than Brock Lesnar winning the title? But, you know, after about an hour, I kind of rethought that. I'm starting to think that somehow, some way, Seth Rollins is going to find a way to escape this pay-per-view. This is a match that the WWE has to have, and it's quite possible that they're just getting it out of the way. You know, after what happened to Brock at WrestleMania, if and when he comes back, the first thing he has to do is get a title shot. He can't do anything else. So if the WWE wants to do other things with him and have him take a babyface run and work with some other opponents without the WWE title, they got to get this match out of the way first, which might be why it's taking place at Battleground. And I just have the sneaking suspicion that they're going to keep the belt on him. I mean, it's not going to be pretty. It's not like he's going to beat Brock. I mean, Brock's probably going to annihilate him through the whole match, but whatever they do, Seth Rollins will probably walk out of the building that night as WWE champion. And tonight on Raw, I couldn't believe what we saw. Not only was I a little bit disappointed that Brock Lesnar apologized to everybody at the announce table to open the show, he got the crap kicked out of him in the main event segment. I couldn't believe it. I thought Brock could not only take on J&J Security, Kane, and Seth Rollins, but he could have taken on 10 more guys. Brock looked a little bit human tonight, which, if he's going to be a babyface, it's what you got to do. To me, they don't need to turn him babyface. I mean, Brock Lesnar is a baby heel. I mean, he's a heel, but everybody fucking loves him as the ass-kicking machine that he is, and I don't see any reason to change that. So now to watch him get beat down by, yes, it was 4 guys, but still, I feel like it should have taken more. That's how great the WWE has done in building up Brock as a true badass and only using him from time to time. It makes you believe in it. And what we saw tonight with Brock Lesnar getting beat down by fucking Kane, of all people. Kane choke slamming him a couple of times. It was like, oh man, this is horrible. And also, you guys can fill me in on this because I don't know Brock Lesnar's dates. A lot of you can probably look that up on the internet and tell me. But if he has any more future Monday Night Raw dates left, I mean, do you think we could possibly get a Kane versus Brock Lesnar match on Monday Night Raw leading up to Battleground? I think that would be a great idea. Now, tonight they were selling the injury of the Authority is injuring Brock Lesnar. This will keep him off TV, I guess, for a little while, or at least give them a reason to not have him on Raw every week. And they could even go so far as to sell Brock being injured going into the Battleground match. But I don't know if that's even possible. He just banged his knee up a little bit. We still have a full month until the pay-per-view. I think Brock will be fine, but if they wanted to play it that way, they could. And now Seth Rollins is already at a huge advantage because now he has an injured Brock Lesnar to contend with at Battleground. So the way I see it right now, I'm sure Brock will be back before Battleground, obviously, on Raw. And, of course, the WWE's got that show in Japan, right? Isn't he supposed to be facing Kofi at the beginning of July, which I probably will still be out of town for, but hopefully I can catch that on the network or wherever the hell they're airing it. So if that match is still indeed happening, I guess we'll see how he looks then. But I would like to see him come on Raw and maybe finally have a match. I mean, why not? It's about time. Brock's been back for a couple of years now. He just re-signed his deal. He doesn't have to wrestle all the time on Raw, but since he's been back for the last 3 years, he has not worked a Raw match. This guy's the most dominant force on your roster, and he has not worked your main show in over a decade. That's ludicrous. So put him in there with Kane on Monday Night Raw between now and Battleground and have Brock beat the shit out of him. You know, I guess we got a long time to figure out exactly what they're going to do, but as it stands right now, I think they might keep the belt on Seth a little longer, which is what I wanted from the beginning. I thought a minimum his title reign had to last until SummerSlam, at least. If they want to go beyond that, then whatever, it's extra time. But generally, in these situations, a big show, you know, for somebody to come out and upend Seth Rollins, I think SummerSlam is more suited for that. There's also the Sheamus card. I mean, am I reading this right? Is WWE really going to go with Sheamus right now? Now, I got nothing against Sheamus. It's just, to me, it seems completely forced. The fans aren't calling for Sheamus to be world champion. The WWE is going to make him world champion just because they want to. So if it in fact happens, I guess we'll see. I'll try my best to get behind it, obviously. I'm not going to root for it to fail. At least Sheamus is getting an opportunity. Maybe he can surprise me. I don't know. But I don't really have any interest in seeing him as WWE champion, at least right now, with all of the contenders we have. So if he does cash it in, how does he do it? Will Brock be involved in something like this? Could Brock get screwed over twice? I mean, Roman Reigns has been bitching about being screwed at WrestleMania. No one got screwed worse than Brock Lesnar. He was the champion. He wasn't even pinned. So what if it happens to him again? What if he has Seth Rollins beat at Battleground and the match is fucking over and Sheamus comes out and does the exact same thing that Seth Rollins does? Or does something go down at Battleground between the two of them that sets up a rematch for SummerSlam, and that's where you get the Sheamus cash in? Or do they wait even longer and actually make Survivor Series a good show for once and have Sheamus cash in there? So there's a lot of different ways they could go. We'll just have to wait and see. But according to a lot of you, Sheamus might actually win this belt in the future. I will revisit the main event situation in a couple of weeks when I come up and do my Battleground predictions video. And by then, we'll have a couple of more Raws under our belt. And I'll have a better idea, maybe we all will, of what direction WWE is going to go in the WWE title picture. And one final thought on Seth Rollins and Brock. I am actually reading this right now as I'm recording. It looks like Jamie Noble might have gotten injured. Can't tell if it's legit or a work or not, but it seems like it might be legit. And he did take a hell of a bump from Brock. Brock, shoulder tackled him into the barricade. I remember the spot. I even said to myself, I'm like, ooh, that's got to fucking hurt. I really, really, really hope Jamie Noble is okay. Apparently they stretchered him out. So they're either selling the injury really, really well, or he legitimately got injured on that. So whatever the case is, I hope he's okay, and I hope it's not spinal cord related. Moving on to other notable things on Raw, of course, we saw the continuation of the feud between John Cena and Kevin Owens. Tonight was just a promo, one in the ring, one on the stage. Very good stuff. I mean, every time I listen to Kevin Owens talk, it's like, man, he's fucking good. John Cena wasn't half bad either tonight. They were even speaking French to each other. It was crazy. Good stuff all the way around. Still plenty of time before this match takes place, so there's going to be more physicality in upcoming weeks. But they got to go slow here, so that's why I don't have a problem with the promo. You can't do everything. You still got a very long time before this match happens. Kevin Owens, I think between now and then, will even have a title defense in NXT. Hopefully, he'll drop that belt. The debate on who wins this match right now, I don't know. I think you got to have another one after this. So then you just got to think like, okay, if you're going to have a fourth match, who benefits most from winning right now? Where would you rather have John Cena win? Would you rather have him win now, or would you rather have him win the blow-off? But I think after this match, regardless of who wins, the fourth match will be some sort of a gimmick match where the loser can be protected, like a cage match, like a ladder match, some sort of a match where the loser doesn't have to be pinned or doesn't have to submit. That way, if John Cena must win the fourth match, it doesn't completely humiliate Kevin Owens. So maybe Kevin Owens can win this one. Win the United States title. It would definitely be a nice bounce-back moment, especially if he drops the NXT NXT title. If he goes out and loses another big title match almost immediately after that, I don't know what that'll do for him. So I'd have no problem with Kevin Owens being the next U.S. champion. We could use a new one. John Cena's had his hands on the belt for a little while now. Kevin Owens beat him clean once. The way I see WWE doing things, I know the fans want John Cena to lose clean in every single fucking match he has, but they're not going to do that. There's too much an investment there in John Cena, and you have to understand that. So I don't think John Cena will necessarily win, but I said in my last commentary that I don't think either guy will win this one clean. I would like to see Kevin Owens win just by cheating. Who fucking cares about the clean win shit? I'm sick of hearing that. He already did that to John Cena anyway. He's probably not going to do it again because John Cena has to move on to do all this shit with other young guys, which he'll probably be doing. Every time some young buck comes up from NXT, they'll put him with Cena, give him the experience, give him the rub, give him a victory even once or twice. So with Kevin Owens, I think WWE's in a position where they need to capitalize on him now. So this is not a guy that they're going to drag along for 5 years before they finally give him the opportunity. They know his shelf life is probably not very long, not in the greatest of shape, and has already been in the business for a while, and probably as good right now as he's ever going to be, so they have to do it with him now. So in that respect, I am 100% on board with Kevin Owens knocking off John Cena becoming the U.S. champion, because that would do wonders for him. And he can cheat. Who gives a fuck? Grab a chair while the referee's not looking and part Cena's hair with it. Get the 1, 2, 3, steal the belt, and then you got a reason for a fourth match, because number one, John Cena's going to want his revenge because Kevin Owens stole, quote-unquote, the United States title. And number two, he's a former champ. He gets a rematch clause anyway. Now, let's say that scenario plays out. Let's say Kevin Owens does defeat John Cena, and then they do another match. Then what do? Surely even the biggest Cena haters cannot say, oh, Owens has to beat him again. You know, those Cena feuds aren't going to go that way. John Cena's not going to lose 3 out of 4. The best you can hope for is he's going to split them 2-2. That's the best. And I think the most likely scenario, because this is WWE we're talking about, John Cena will most likely go 3-1. But I'm hoping they do things different with Kevin Owens. They need a new CM Punk. And I think Kevin Owens is just the guy with that attitude that he's got, how good he is on the mic, the way the fans mark out for him. I think he is the perfect guy to fill that void that CM Punk left behind. So that's why I think WWE is going to be very careful how they finish off this feud. Kevin Owens by no means is going to squash Cena for the rest of this. If that's what you want to see happen, you better not hold your fucking breath. But at the same time, I don't think in a month Kevin Owens is going to be sitting on his ass in crutches crying that he lost his fucking girlfriend. So I don't think they're going to Rusev him either. I think there's going to be some sort of an in-between to where when this whole feud is over, Kevin Owens earns everyone's respect. So you guys have to tell me. You can't say, oh, good mic work, Kevin Owens has got to beat John Cena clean at Battleground and win the title. And then John Cena's got to have a rematch for the title, and Kevin Owens has to beat him clean again. You know that ain't happening. So give me an alternate scenario. Give me something else that actually makes fucking sense and give it to me that way. How would you like it to go? Would you like Kevin Owens to win this one and lose the blow-off, or lose this one and win the blow-off? What the fuck do you want? And you know what I'd like to see them do? I'd like to see them do something cool. Like, let's say, for example, John Cena beats Kevin Owens at Battleground, retains the U.S. title. Twitter breaks in half, fans freak out, lose their minds. Instead of assuming this quote-unquote fourth match is going to take place at SummerSlam, what if the next night on Raw, John Cena comes out to say, I beat Kevin Owens last night just like I said I would, and now for the fans, I want to resume my U.S. title open challenge, and anybody who wants a shot at the title right now, come on down. Even though I just had the match of my life last night, I'm going to defend the title anyway. And let's say Kevin Owens comes out and accepts the challenge and beats him for the title on Raw the next night. Anything like that I would find very acceptable. And shit, then you're talking fifth match, because John Cena will probably have to get a rematch. So I think there's still a lot of cool things they can do, and I really want this feud to extend beyond Battleground. I think we all do. So like I said, then you have to decide which matches from here on out do you want John Cena to win and which ones do you want him to lose, because he's not going to lose them all. Either way, I'm still 100% pleased with everything that I've seen out of both guys since this feud started. I think their first match was awesome. I think their second match was even better, and who knows what they can do this time around. Chemistry's good, fan reaction is good, everything is there. This is a great feud. This could, at the end of the year, be feud of the year, easily. Now, in another pretty kick-ass feud going on right now, Bray Wyatt, of course, is feuding with Roman Reigns, and they're tying Roman Reigns' daughter into this, like we talked about last week. We saw more of that tonight on Monday Night Raw. Bray Wyatt completely out of his mind. What I like about this the most is, the WWE stepping outside the box just a little bit here. I mean, it's creepy as shit. This is Bray Wyatt we're talking about. It's not like Zack Ryder is calling out Roman Reigns' daughter. This is Bray Wyatt. He already looks creepy. He already looks like a child molester as it is, and he's the one, threatening his daughter on TV and having shrines to her and fucking candles and rocking chairs. This guy's completely fucking batshit nuts. It's wonderful, and it's nice to see him actually, strike some emotion in Roman Reigns as well. I've talked about that. I said Roman Reigns needs some sort of an opponent that'll really get under his skin, and you can just see a different side of him. And here you can see Reigns is, he's half scared, he's half threatened, he's really pissed off, but he's also very cautious. He wants to completely kill Bray Wyatt, but he knows he's got to, look over his shoulder and protect his family and all of that. It's mind games, and it's great. It's exactly the type of opponent that Roman Reigns needs. And I hope you guys know this. I'm sure you do. Roman Reigns is going to win this feud. I hope nobody's going to be pissed off when he spears and pins Bray Wyatt. At least in the blow-off, they'll do that anyway. If this feud extends beyond Battleground, then I would actually like to see Bray Wyatt win the first match. Maybe use Roman Reigns' daughter as some form of distraction, and they can do a finish like that where Bray wins the first match, and then Roman Reigns ends up winning in the end. Because Roman Reigns is coming out on top of this feud. I joked on Twitter that I hope it's not a Roman Reigns daughter on a pole match at SummerSlam. They've done a lot of crazy shit in the past. I remember the match with Rey Mysterio and Eddie, with Dominic's paternity on the line and all this crazy shit. So hopefully they won't take it that far. But right now, what I see with Bray Wyatt, the way he's getting to Roman Reigns through his daughter, I like it. That's really it for the major feuds. We also have, for the Intercontinental title going on right now, Ryback took on Mark Henry. Ryback's currently feuding with the Big Show over the Intercontinental title. They'll probably have a match at Battleground, I'm assuming. I don't know if it's announced yet, but Big Show's out there doing commentary. Actually, it is announced. That's right. It's a triple threat, I believe. It's Big Show versus Ryback versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title. So that's what they're doing at Battleground. And Ryback actually ends up making pretty short work of Mark Henry, and he wins with, get this, a top rope splash. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And it wasn't that bad either. Delivered pretty well for a big guy like Ryback. I was actually somewhat impressed. Big Show got in the ring then and started giving Mark Henry shit. Isn't it so funny how Big Show sometimes can be the biggest, whiniest, cryingest babyface pussy in the world, and then on the other hand, he can be the most evil, douchey, cocksucker of a heel you could ever imagine. He's out there yelling at Mark Henry, being a complete asshole, and then he goes backstage, interrupts a Ryback interview, who Ryback's talking personal again, trying to get the fans behind him, talking about his parents and shit like that, and Big Show, like a dick, interrupts and attacks Ryback, actually. And Ryback actually gets the upper hand and actually takes Big Show down and knocks his ass out backstage, and I was actually a little bit happy to see that. Big Show, I love you, but damn it, I'm over you. About 5 or 6 other matches took place on Raw. We saw King Barrett beat Zack Ryder. Now, I guess he's still feuding with R-Truth. R-Truth did a little interview on the side, and he's still wearing the Burger King crown and the hotel towel and the fucking plunger. He's hilarious. Looks like a complete buffoon, but at the same time, so does King Barrett. You know what? Good mic work is just not a fan of when guys wear the fucking crown and the cape. I think it looks so stupid. I've never been a fan. I know if you're a heel, you got to sell the fact that you're the King of the Ring winner and you can't shut the fuck up about it, but now it's 2015. It's a meaningless tournament. I've already forgotten about the show, and it's only 5 weeks ago or whenever the hell it happened. Wade Barrett has lost a ton of matches since it took place, and he's out there parading around like an idiot wearing this getup. I just think it's very 90s, and I think if you have a King of the Ring winner, I much prefer Stone Cold's approach. Just go up there, cut your promo, I'm the fucking man, yada, 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 walk away and don't even fucking look at the crown or the scepter or the cape or anything. I know Wade Barrett's from the UK, and they have a queen over there. I understand all of that. I just hate it when wrestlers wear that stuff. I have very strange pet peeves, don't I? Other matches we saw tonight on Raw, Dolph Ziggler took on Adam Rose and beat him. Lana, I noticed right away when she came out, I was like, man, first of all, we all know how beautiful she is, but I was like, you know what? Her hair is a little bit less tight. It's not pulled back as tight as normal, and she's wearing less makeup, and I found her even hotter than she normally is. And then at the end of the match, after Dolph Ziggler wins, she kind of takes her hair down a little bit, so they're slowly transitioning her, it looks like, out of that Russian character. I think it's only a matter of time before she starts wearing different outfits, although there is nothing wrong with the dresses she wears. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's just a slow transformation that we're seeing here with Lana. And of course, Rusev, oh my God, poor guy looks so pathetic. So he's back there on crutches. This is just the build back up after the knockdown. He's working with Cena, and he lost, and that feud's over with. So everybody's like, oh, the guy's dead, and look at him, he's sitting on his ass. And what they did with him tonight looked terrible. He's out there staring at the screen, watching Lana kiss Ziggler, and then he just gets pissed and starts throwing his crutches around, throwing a temper tantrum, falls down on his ass, and it looked like he was about to cry. And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, this poor fucking guy. The fans are going to go apeshit. They're just going to be like, see what WWE's doing with him? No, yes, I do. I actually do see what they're doing with him. They're having him feud with Dolph Ziggler, not a bad guy in the roster to be working with. He's got a storyline and angle going on right now. Yes, he's the one who's currently looking foolish, but he's still involved. Not a big deal. They could be turning the corner anyway, giving him another girl. It looked like Summer Rae was standing over him right as he's about to cry, and she picks him up, and hopefully he'll just go bang one out with her because he definitely needs it. Hopefully when he's healed up from his injury and he comes back and Summer Rae will be on his arm and he'll feud with Dolph Ziggler, I'm almost certain we'll see some mixed tag team matches. And hey, think of it this way. There's a few rumors going on out there about Dolph Ziggler and his contract that he might take a walk. I would hate to see that happen. I hope WWE re-signs him if he has some specific demands or if he wants to be pushed or taken a little bit more seriously. WWE should adhere to those demands and re-sign this guy, but if he does leave, I can't see him getting the best of Rusev. So maybe if Dolph is in fact on his way out the door, this feud that he will wind up having with Rusev that'll probably stretch a couple of pay-per-views, maybe Rusev can win. Rusev's two biggest feuds this year will be Cena and Ziggler. That ain't small potatoes. Also in the opening match of the show, which I completely forgot to mention, Dean Ambrose lost to Kane. And would it kill Kane to put a shirt on? I mean, all he does is walk around there in those slacks and that belt shirtless. Damn it, Kane, please put us out of our misery. But he got the win with Seth Rollins' help. I think that was Seth Rollins' way of initially trying to get back in the good graces of the Authority. We also saw Neville beat Kofi Kingston in a pretty entertaining match. New Day got thrown out, and Neville hit his awesome finisher thing on Kofi, nailed it perfectly, and it was pretty good. Very entertaining segment. Primetime Players beat the Ascension. I didn't even really watch this match. I don't think it was for the titles, but it might have been. But they're continuing to go on their roll and their tag team title push, so you kind of had a feeling they were going to win this match. My girl Nikki scored another win. The Bellas beat, who was it? Tamina and Naomi. And Alicia Fox was out there dressed as a third Bella. Apparently something on SmackDown happened that led up to this. But what was eerie about it is I was just joking last week on Twitter how Nikki keeps winning these matches by switching places with her sister, and then they were both in the ring at one time, and I was like, hey, you should bring out a third Bella, confuse the fuck out of everybody. And then lo and behold, we got a third Bella. Alicia Fox is out there dressed just like her. I'm sure this is just a temporary alliance, but I have no problem with her being associated with them. Nobody really likes Nikki as champion, but you guys know how I feel about Nikki, and I hope she holds that title longer than fucking Moolah. As far as what else is going on in wrestling, we had another wrestling death today. Very sad to hear of the passing of Buddy Landel. A lot of you, I assume, probably don't even know who he is. I've got a few memories of Buddy Landel. He was never my favorite. He kind of reminded me of New Diesel, to be honest with you. I always thought that Ric Flair was the much better nature boy. I was always much more entertained by Ric Flair. Buddy Landel worked primarily in the South. He worked Texas. He worked Tennessee. He worked the Crockett's and everything, so he's been around. He even worked WWE. My memories of him, I remember watching him in Smoky Mountain, a Jim Cornette's promotion in the 90s. And there's even some matches out there I know that exist of him against like Shawn Michaels. When Shawn Michaels was Intercontinental Champion, you might be able to find him on YouTube, and I know I have some tapes of it. He was a good sound performer. He reminded me a lot of Terry Taylor, just of how I thought about him and how I perceived him. You know, yes, I know of Terry Taylor, seen a shitload of his matches, but really never was emotionally invested in anything he ever did. And it's kind of the way it was with Buddy Landel. Even though I knew of him and have watched him work a lot, I would never really consider myself a fan of his. But still, very good wrestler with a lot of history, a lot of tradition in this business, worked with a lot of top guys, and had a few moments in his career that are definitely significant. So it's sad to hear of his passing. He was very young. I don't know the details on it at all. One story I read was a car accident, because I believe he was only in his 50s. So he's a bit young, so I'm hoping it's nothing too horrifying. We just lost Dusty a couple of weeks ago, which, we were all broken up over. I'm still sad about that. It's just amazing that the dream is gone. And when you hear about the circumstances of his death, you wonder if maybe he could have lived a little bit longer too. But whatever the deal with Buddy Landel is, I hope it's not too horrible, and my heart goes out to the family. I also wanted to briefly just mention Tyson Kidd. I feel horrible. He's going through one of those neck surgeries. I think something similar to what Austin and Lita and Edge and Benoit and other guys have had done. It looks pretty serious, and I guess he maybe heard it during his match with Samoa Joe, which really sucks. I think that happened on Superstars taping or something. So Tyson Kidd's probably going to be out for a while, and that's a shame. So I definitely wish him the best. You hate to see that, and I hope everything goes as well as possible for him and his surgery. Also, Tough Enough. I have Tough Enough written down, and I'm laughing. I'm like, why the fuck do I have Tough Enough written down? But I guess I just wanted to mention it. I do believe the series starts on USA Network here in just a couple of days. Might even be tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the Tough Enough concept. I don't like reality shows. I don't like... I don't know. I don't like boot camp environments. WWE, I know is going to be really hard on these kids. I even saw some shit on YouTube where, they really are set up in bunks like you would see in the military and stuff, which is fine. These kids have to pay their dues, and you got to fast track them through, 10 or 15 years that a lot of guys have to pay their dues. So if they're going to get a chance here in one opportunity, yeah, you got to make things hard on them. But it's just so overdone. It's so dramatic. It's done for the camera. And I just hope the coaches aren't too big of assholes. You got a lot of great people involved in this. Chris Jericho, Hogan, Daniel Bryan, Lita, Booker T, a couple of others. So there's a really awesome panel of judges and coaches and all of that. Sean might even be involved. I'm not sure. But definitely looks promising as far as the big names they brought in to help support the cast here. The 13 fuckers that are going for this title, I don't give a shit who wins. I don't like these Tough Enough competitions. Nobody huge has ever come out of Tough Enough. I guess The Miz really is as big as it gets. John Morrison, or Johnny Mundo, of course, is doing wonderful things internationally. Ryback, I believe, was a contestant, but, has anybody that's ever won this thing ever made it huge? Even the guy that they just had win it a few years ago is long gone. I don't even know what happened to that fucking guy. So to me, Tough Enough is not necessarily going to build a star. All it's going to do is give WWE a reality show, and some people like that shit. I mean, hey, I liked Legends House when it came out, so, I guess, whatever your flavor is, it's just these type of reality shows I've never really been a fan of, and Legends House is something I would never watch unless it was WWE Legends in there. If it was just a group of assholes, I wouldn't fucking care. So to me, I just don't have any interest in it at all. So I'm going to watch a little bit of it, and you guys can keep me posted. I'll probably just watch highlight videos and the shit WWE puts up on YouTube. Hey, watch a clip from this week or that week, and if there's anything on there that looks interesting at all, maybe I will tune in a little bit more. But, I definitely have a better chance of watching Tough Enough than I do Total Divas. I still have never laid eyes on that show, not once, and I never will. I just, I don't like really anything that comes on the E! channel, and I don't even really watch much TV these days anyway. But Tough Enough, there is a chance I will check it out, and if there's anything on there that you think I should see, feel free to let me know, and I'll take a look. So I think that's it for this week. You guys have a great couple of weeks. Keep in mind, like I said, I will not be here next week with a Raw review. I will not even be in town, and there's a good chance I will not even see the next Monday Night Raw, so I will probably have to catch myself up the week after. So I would say, in all likelihood, 2 weeks from this very moment will be the next time you hear from me again. Hope all of you in the United States are having a great summer so far. Have a great 4th of July, and I will catch you in a couple of weeks. Peace.